You're listening to Sun FM 88 Gospel Radio, and I'm Rob Davies. And on this day, we are going to have a tribute to the Anzacs. All over Australia and New Zealand and other parts of the world, you know, people gather at dawn services in remembrance of our fallen servicemen and women. Here in Mildura, they have our dawn service at Hennessy Park at 6 a.m. followed by breakfast at the Mildura RSL between 7 and 8. Then a march from 8th Street and Deakin Avenue, which goes up to the Shrine of Remembrance. Yes, well, I've got a soldier's story here that I'm going to read out. My brother Eddie is a Vietnam veteran. This is his story. At the young age of 20, Eddy Davies was called up to national service. Eddie served in Vietnam during 1969 and 1970. Most of us have enjoyed a 21st birthday with family and friends. Eddie spent his 21st birthday in the jungles of Vietnam. On the 26th of January 1970 at 7:30 a.m, my family at home here in Australia, Victoria, my dad, my mum, my 4 brothers, 5 sisters and myself were informed that Private Edward Kevin Davies had been killed in action. Later that day we were told that there had been a communication glitch and human error. Private Edward Kevin Davies had been seriously wounded on the 25th of January 1970. And this was 5 weeks before he was due to return home. Private Edward Kevin Davies served with the 5th Battalion Royal Australian Regiment Infantry. Eddie was in Vietnam from 14th of February 1969 to the 1st of February 1970, with a total of 264 days in the war zone. He and his unit did patrols in the jungles of Vietnam, carrying out seek and destroy missions lasting 6 weeks at a time, with 3-day breaks between missions, at times treading through waist-deep water and muddy tracks, with monsoon rains pouring down on them. During the unit's last mission between December 1969 to January 1970, Private Edward Kevin Davies was wounded by a burst of bullets from an AK-47 assault rifle from the Viet Cong, the enemy. My brother was seriously wounded to his left arm. Whilst the fighting continued, surrounded by machine gun bullets and grenades blasting, he was airlifted out of the combat zone by medevac chopper. Due to the injuries Eddie received to his left arm, his arm had to be amputated at the shoulder. Things could have been worse, as a bullet had also hit the bandolier of 300 rounds that he had been carrying for his machine gunner. This bullet exploded 2 of those rounds from the bandolier, which was hanging over the left side of Eddie's chest. He only received gunpowder burns to his chest from the 2 exploding bullets. God had his finger on Eddie that day. Eddie was not meant to die there in Vietnam whilst in combat. My brother, Private Edward Kevin Davies, recovered from his wounds and 12 months later enlisted into the Australian Regular Army, doing clerical duties. After 18 years of service, at the rank of Sergeant, Sergeant Edward Kevin Davies was discharged from the army. Eddie tells me many people say that he is a hero for fighting in the war. He says that's not true. The real heroes are the servicemen and women who sacrificed their lives and didn't come home. Lest we forget.
Fought the good fight, wounded soldier. You have fought with all your might, even when the battle got so tough and you thought you were on your own. Wounded soldier, you were never and understanding to leave all your cares behind. Wounded soldier, you have fought the good fight. Wounded soldier, you have fought with all your might. Even when the battle got so tough and you thought you were on your own. Wounded soldier, you were never alone. In your mind the battle rages, you feel like giving up. You've done all that you know to do, you've drank from a bitter cup. And every time it looks like you're going down in flames, just call upon the King of Kings. Jesus is his name. Wounded soldier, you have fought the good fight. Wounded soldier, you have fought with all your might. Even when the battle got so tough and you thought you were on your own. Wounded soldier, you were never alone. Wounded soldier, you were never alone.
You're tuned to Sun FM 88 Gospel Radio, taking gospel to the country and the world. I'm Rob Davies, and I'll be with you this morning until around, say, 9:30. I hope we're all going to have a great day and some great listening and some great teachings. And yeah, here's another song, which is Deck of Cards by Foster and Allen.
During the North African campaign, a bunch of soldier boys had been on a long hike, and they arrived in a little town called Casino. The next morning, being Sunday, several of the boys went to church. A sergeant commanded the boys in church, and after the chaplain had read the prayer, the text was taken up next. Both of the boys who had a prayer book took them out, but this one boy had only...
It's my radio station. Well, not mine, but it's Sun FM Gospel
The sergeant
Radio.
saw the cards and he said, "Soldier,
88.
put away those cards." After the services were over, the soldier was taken prisoner.